Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
Brutal night for Philly sports. The Eagles stunned by Jaxson Dart and the Giants on Thursday night. Also, the Cubs even things up with the Brewers in Chicago. And Oklahoma legend Bob Stoops shares his thoughts on the Red River Rivalry this weekend.
I'm Peter Bukowski, starting your day with the can't-miss stories and biggest debates in sports. You're Locked On Sports Today.
Searching all major sports. Found.
Let's start with the biggest story.
More than a little Yingling spilled in Philadelphia on Thursday night. A brutal night for Philly sports. First, the Fightin' Phils go down at the hands of the Dodgers in their NLDS series. And then the Eagles go to the Meadowlands. Okay, it's MetLife now, and get absolutely worked by the New York Giants, 34-17. Louis DiBiase from Locked On Eagles joins me now. And Lou, ever since the second half of the Broncos game, it has been ugly for this Eagles team. What's going on?
It's been ugly in 5 of 6 games from really start to finish in the second half of football games. This is the 5th time that the offense has completely disappeared after a really good first half that put up over 200 yards from scrimmage, 17 points. Jalen Hurts, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni just have no answers. And it feels like Groundhog's Day. This has happened every year after a Super Bowl run for this football team in 2018 and 2023 and 2025. They just do not learn from their past mistakes. And I think Jalen Hurts' deficiencies really showed up in this football game. So I don't know when they're going to learn from this. It just feels like they're kind of doing what the definition of insanity is, the same thing over and over, and it doesn't work.
Part of that, right, is the fact that you have brain drain. Coaches leave. Kellen Moore left. We saw a coaching exodus in 2018 and in 2023, lost some coaches there. So how much of this do you put at the feet of Nick Sirianni, who I think if you talk to some Philly fans are very much, the Bobs in Office Space going, what is it exactly you do here?
I think the majority of this is on Nick Sirianni. 2 times now in 3 years, he has promoted from within after a Super Bowl run is almost like a celebratory promotion. Instead of maybe hiring the best guy for the job, they gave the keys to a historically great, talented offense to a brand new play caller who is so predictable, has no answers in the second half when defenses counter, and it's on him. If I'm Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, I would get involved again.
About Brian Johnson or Kevin Patullo?
Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo. And that's the thing. If I'm Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, if this continues on this trajectory this year, if I were the owner and GM, I'm getting involved again in Sirianni's decisions about the coaching staff, whether he likes it or not. If that causes a power struggle like it did with Doug Peterson, so be it, because the internal promotions in Philadelphia do not work.
Is this starting to feel a little bit like Doug Peterson 2.0?
It's starting to feel like it. And I think this is also just the reality of, like you said, when you're a Super Bowl team, you lose great coaches. And when your head coach is not the play caller, you're going to have inconsistencies with your offense, even if the personnel is the same, especially when you have an inconsistent passer like Jalen Hurts, who's elite in the most important moments, but he's going to have ups and downs like this, especially when it's a new offense every year. So yeah, it's kind of feeling like Doug Peterson, but this is also just the reality of the way the Eagles organization is built at this point.
You mentioned the organization. What about the way this defense is built, Lou? Because this has not looked like the same defense we saw. I know Jalen Carter didn't play in this game, and then Jalen Carter week 1 in a game that was very much a losable game for Philly. Jalen Carter doesn't play in that one, but still, over the balance of the season, they were the best defense in the league with a bullet last year, and they have not looked like that this year at all.
Yeah, honestly, I really don't want to fault the defense because I do think they were the ones carrying this team to a 4-0 start, and injuries have really started to build up. They were without 3 of their top 4 players today. Jalen Carter, as you mentioned, Nolan Smith, Quinyon Mitchell goes down with a hamstring injury, Reed Blankenship got banged up, and they've been carrying this bad offense in the second half all season long. They finally needed the offense to bail them out against a really bad football team, and Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo couldn't do it. So, the defense, they didn't tackle well, they didn't cover well today, but I still think this is on the offense. They have all the highest paid veterans that are stars, and the excuses are not on that unit.
Yeah, and to your point about the defense, the Eagles are on pace to have the most 3-and-outs in at least 20 years. So that's a recipe for wearing your defense out and getting them in a situation where, these guys are playing a lot of snaps. You're putting a lot of hits on these guys.
And the embarrassing part is the offense has all the veterans. That's where all of the top 5 money is invested. The inconsistency should not be there. The defense is the youngest in football, and they're carrying them. So that's the embarrassing part, is like this offense has been the unit that's gone to 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. So I think that's the most infuriating part about this.
How do you square the Jalen Hurts is awesome in some of these big moments, and then other times you're just sort of like, what is going on? What is happening?
Yeah, I think that's the reality of Jalen Hurts, and I've come to accept it. I think he's a top 10 quarterback with top 5 moments. The good thing for the Eagles is those top 5 moments normally come in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl, in the NFC Championship, but you will get games like this when the defense is not helping out, the play caller is not helping out, and the run game is not going as it did last year with Saquon Barkley. The reality is sometimes Jalen Hurts, outside of 2022, he can't carry you with his arm inside the pocket week after week. He's not that consistent like other star quarterbacks. That's just the reality of Jalen, and I think you saw the downs today of that. There's a lot of ups, but there's some downs like we saw today too.
Stay up to date all year on the Philadelphia Eagles by subscribing to Locked On Sports today and Locked On Eagles on your favorite podcast app. Your Locked On Sports today. Coming up, the Cubs even things up with the Brew Crew. Before we get to that, the Dodgers walked off the Phillies to advance to the NLCS. I told you, tough night in Philly sports. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for the weekend with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however I want to bet in the moment, whether it's player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It's quick, it's easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. The Dodgers are moving on to the NLCS after a Phillies error in extras gave LA the win.
I'm never going to get over it. That can't happen. That can't happen in any situation, anywhere, much less with a series in the postseason, your season on the line. I'm Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies, and Orion Kirkering just threw away the Phillies season. A routine comebacker, and he makes the dumbest play possible. You will never see a bigger individual player collapse in a big moment than what you just saw from Orion Kirkering. It's legitimately Bill Buckner level stuff. We will talk about this in Philadelphia forever, and I'm never going to get over it. I'm going to be mad tomorrow. I'm going to be mad the next day. I'm going to be mad the next week, the next month, the next year. I, right now, never want to see Orion Kirkering pitch for this baseball team again. I never want to think about Orion Kirkering again. And damn, this offense too, one run, like nobody was good enough tonight besides the pitchers outside of Orion who decided just to throw the ball home to the backstop and lose the Phillies, the NLDS. I'm over it. I'm done with this baseball team. I'm done with the sport. I'm done with sports in general. Maybe we'll talk tomorrow on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
The Cubs are right back in it after forcing a Game 5 against the Brewers.
Do you believe? Do you believe? That's the question. The Chicago Cubs with a dominant performance on Thursday night at Wrigley to force a deciding Game 5 in Milwaukee. I'm Sam Olber from the Locked On Cubs podcast. These 2 games at Wrigley was all about resilience, all about character. Matthew Boyd gets crushed in Game 1, can't even make it through the first inning, bounces back and throws 4 2/3 of shutout baseball. Ian Happ, struggling all postseason long, hits the biggest home run in his long Chicago Cub career, a 3-run homer in the first off the always tough Freddie Peralta. Kyle Tucker added a home run, and it was not a cheap home run, one of the better swings he's had all year. The bullpen continued to do what it's done all postseason, which is hold the leads, and hopefully that continues because we're going to Milwaukee for Game 5. We're going to talk about it all. We'll be live here. It's just me in about 5-10 minutes. This game and previewing the decider. But folks, give this group a lot of credit. They've earned a lot of respect and showed a lot of character to force a Game 5 here no matter what happens on Saturday.
The Colts are bringing back a familiar face at kicker.
The Colts have got their replacement for Spencer Schrader, and it is someone they're quite familiar with. Michael Badgley, the Money Badger, is now in to replace Spencer Schrader. It's now his 3rd stint with the Colts. He originally signed with them as an undrafted rookie back in 2018 behind Adam Vinatieri, and then he filled in for the injured Rodrigo Blankenship back in 2021, and he is now back to answer the call of duty once again to finish off the Colts season in 2025. Again, as Spencer Schrader suffered a season-ending right knee injury back on Sunday. Badgley is an 82% field goal kicker for his career, 96% on extra points, I think. He is healthy now, but last year his season ended before it even began when he tore a hamstring. So we'll see how it goes. The Colts worked him out this morning, so they obviously feel confident enough in what he'll be able to provide as a kicker. So we'll have more on this as the season goes. You know, Zach will be right into the nitty-gritty of all the kicker stuff throughout the year. Catch us on Locked On Colts on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Chicago Cubs are trying to become just the 8th team to come back from down 0-2 to win the NLDS. They beat the Brewers in Game 4 on Thursday night. The Locked On Cubs crew reacts.
Right away for Freddie Peralta, finding himself in a bit of a jam, a Nico Horner single, a Kyle Tucker walk. Boy, you can't do the walks and the home runs together. They both hurt you, but when you do them together, you allow them to happen together. Bad things have happened, and that was the case for Freddie Peralta in the first inning. Ian Happ coming into tonight was hitting .095 in the postseason. Ian Happ with a absolute dart out to right field was an absolute no-doubter from the second it left his bat, gave the Cubs a 3-0 advantage right away in the first, and Matthew Boyd on the other side of the hill for the Chicago Cubs, a completely different pitcher from what we saw in Game 1 at American Family Field last weekend. Matthew Boyd shutting down the Brewers offense for 4 2/3 in this one. Just nothing offensively tonight for the Brewers. Absolutely nothing. They had runners in scoring position. They left 6 guys on base. They were only 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. As I mentioned, they had 3 hits on the night. You are not going to win many games in any sport, certainly baseball, when you don't have any offensive, threat on the bases or in the game whatsoever. But the Cubs did this evening, and Matt Shaw also with a single in the 6th would bring home a run. That would give the Cubs a 4-0 advantage, and then a couple more home runs in the 7th inning from Kyle Tucker. You hope not to get him going, certainly ahead of Game 5. And then Michael Busch. Stop me if you've heard me talk about Michael Busch hitting a home run in this series. I believe it's his 4th in the postseason. I think it's his 3rd against the Milwaukee Brewers in this series. Those 2 guys with each a solo shot there. And that would round out the scoring for the Cubs. They would take that 6-0 advantage and cruise to a Game 4 victory. We mentioned Freddie Peralta for the Brewers and an interesting approach after Freddie Peralta. Trevor McGill would make an appearance out of the bullpen. He would struggle, allowing a walk, only going 1/3. Aaron Ashby for an inning and a third would come out. We kind of seen him in bulk before. Chad Patrick as well. And Robert Gasser getting the last 2 innings of this one. But it goes back to Freddie Peralta. It was an opportunity, I thought, when it was first reported. I put it out on my Twitter account at Brandon_Snide that I didn't love the Freddie Peralta getting the start in this one. I just did not feel great about this game. I don't want to say Murph was feeling the pressure, and obviously you want to win. You want to put your team in the best position to win. I didn't love Freddie's splits on the road at home. I didn't love Freddie's splits with 4 days of rest versus 5 days of rest. And I understand this is the playoffs. I understand you can't prepare for a loss and needing a Game 5, but how much better would you have felt if the Brewers lost tonight 6-0 and you rolled out, I don't know, maybe Gasser, maybe a combination of Ashby and Chad Patrick, all 3 of those guys pitching tonight with Freddie available in Game 5 at American Family Field. Now, certainly that's not what the Brewers are preparing for. I know hindsight is 20/20. I understand you don't manage and prepare to lose a game. I just didn't feel great about it. And it's interesting with this Cubs team because Freddie, for the most part, has had some really good starts and had some not really good starts against this Cubs team. But there was something telling me it was one of those, gut feelings that I didn't like Freddie tonight out there on the mound, and it didn't take more than a couple of pitches, couple of at-bats for that to come to fruition with Ian Happ hitting the 3-run home run, and that's your turning point in the ball game because The Brewers wouldn't muster up any threat throughout the course of this game whatsoever. Just a pitiful and pathetic performance from the Milwaukee Brewers offense. All sorts of out of whack today. Just all sorts of, and really, I guess we're going to do it. And I hate to do it, but I guess I'm going to have to, because I do feel it. I don't understand the Christian Yelich at the leadoff spot. I guess I just don't really understand why that is a thing. Why that I understand Murphy talking about it in his pregame media availability that he wants him to get more at bats, but you just won games 1 and 2 with Jackson Chourio at the leadoff spot. Jackson Chourio, prior to coming to Chicago, was batting .574 at the leadoff spot to begin the series. I guess I'm a little confused on it, and I'm not a lineup guy. I told you guys this before. I don't like to question the lineup changes and whatnot, but I don't know. It feels like since that lineup kind of switched over and things have changed. Bryce Terrain in the 3-hole today. Bryce Terrain's been horrible at the plate. I'm sorry, Bryce Terrain in the cleanup spot. He was in the 3-hole yesterday. He's been horrible. The bottom of your order, getting nothing. You know, when this offense gets going and when this offense is rolling, you're getting production out of the bottom of your lineup. So it turns back over to those high money guys. You're not getting the first 2 games in Chicago that you just weren't getting any production from the bottom of your order. Sal Frelick, had a hit this evening. He's one of, 2 other guys to get a hit this evening. But just, again, not a lineup guy. I don't want to say, it should be this or should be that. It was odd for me that you switched everything that seemed to have worked wonderfully in games 1 and 2. Then in game 3, it was a completely different thing. And we saw Lockridge in there as well, which was another questionable move. But again, I'm not going to question it. It is what it is. It just feels like it's one of those things where you're kind of looking at it and you're like, maybe that was like overthinking it. Maybe you were doing a little bit too much, trying to get a little too cute. I don't know. We'll see if the Brewers can get it turned around for Saturday, because it's a do or die situation come Saturday in game 5. This series in the National League Divisional Series, all knotted up 2 games apiece as the Cubs get the 6-0 win at Wrigley Field. They hold serve in front of their home crowd, and things will turn back over to American Family Field for Saturday.
Stay up to date all year on the Milwaukee Brewers by subscribing to Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Brewers on your favorite podcast app. Coming up, the Red River Rivalry should be tense this weekend. The Texas Longhorns are in desperate need of a bounce-back win this weekend after losing on the road to Florida and falling out of the top 25, but top 10 Oklahoma awaits in the Red River Rivalry on Saturday. Former Sooners head coach Bob Stoops joined Fire TV's college football kickoff show to reflect on his time in the rivalry and share his thoughts on what will go down this weekend.
We have Bob Stoops, College Hall of Fame coach, national champion. Just go down the list of all the things that you accomplished while you were at Oklahoma. I just wanted to tell you thank you for coming on. I mean, it's an honor. It's been an honor to have you as a friend and then also as a coach. We had some great ball games. I'm afraid I didn't come out on the top of many of those, but there was a lot of them that were close. We just wanted to ask you, I know probably nobody more than you would know about the Red River Rivalry, what you think makes it special, and then also a couple of ball games or instances, things that happened that you think is really cool that makes it different. And so thank you so much for being a part of us.
Gary, always great to see you, to be with you. You've been a great friend for a long time, so always enjoy visiting with you. So anyway, good to be with you guys today. And, what makes the rivalry special, obviously for so many years through the Big 12, Big 8, or Big 8 before, and then Big 12 with Texas joining the Big 12 was was one of us winning the Big 12 championship, every year. One of the two of us almost every year, not every year, but fortunately, we did more than they did, but I know in my years, we had 10 Big 12 championships. So the neat part is you always knew the game, someone's going to have a leg up on the other in the South Division to compete for the Big 12 championship. So that was the first part. It made it even a bigger rivalry when we're in the same division in the Big 12. And then obviously playing in the Cotton Bowl, neutral site, driving into the Texas State Fair, you know, with 200, 300,000 people at the fair, you're coming into play. I mean, it just, it's a special venue. It's a special event. And it was such an important game. And whoever was going to control the South Division of the Big 12. So we looked at it that way, and it was incredible fun and exciting to be a part of it and to live it and to be out there fighting for it all those years.
So your game-wise, I know everybody can go back to the Roy Williams jumping over the top, knocking the ball out, doing it. You have other memories besides that. I know that you were like 5-1 there for a while, and a couple of them were blowouts. I mean, you controlled the rivalry there for a 6 or 7 game stint. Any of those games that stick out that that really you think?
Yeah, really. After I arrived in '99 was the first game, and we were up 16 and ended up losing in '99. I don't think we really knew how to win yet. And then we won 5 in a row from 2000 through 2004, and all those were different. Like 2000, I remember we win 63-14, and I mean, Gary, we're up, I don't know, 42-7 in the second quarter, like mid-second quarter. And I said on the headphones, you know how we all talk to the coaches, we're all talking. I said, you know what, boys? I go, we're pretty good. And and as you know, when you can win some of those games, they're not coming back from this.
Yeah.
So to have one of those that you can go through the second half and be relaxed and enjoying it, that was pretty neat. And then, 2001, Roy Williams, tight game, 7-3. We got him backed up. He jumps over, rips the ball out from Chris Sims, goes it. So I got a Thorpe Award winner, Nagurski Award winner, Roy Williams jumping over the pile to get to the quarterback, rips it out, and it ball ends up in Teddy Lehman's hand, who's a Butkus Award winner and a Nagurski Award winner a year or two later. So,
wow.
Luckily, we had some good players, that really made special plays when we had to. That was fun to win that way. And then, 2004, we sacked Vince Young, 8 times. We win 12-0, 12-0 with the shutout, which was a different way to win, which was also really cool. So anyhow, it's just they all happen differently, and it's fun to win different ways, actually.
Because I know a lot of those games you had against Mac Brown. I mean, I know the friendship and all of that. That, to me, looking from the outside in, seems to be, because being over in Fort Worth, not being very far away, just seems to be special. Both of you guys are great coaches. You're great people. You cared about your players. You did all of it. And so to see that kind of rivalry, what that game meant to both of you, having talked to Mac also, to me, it seems cool. And then also have 2 Hall of Fame coaches now that you look back on it. And, not only just the players, to me, it's just phenomenal. So that's.
Yeah. Thank you, Gary. But Mac's a great guy. A perfect gentleman, always was. When I was young, the first few years, I thought you had to dislike all the coaches. And that was foolish. That was dumb. And I really got to appreciate Mac, the guy he was. Mac had a great career. And like you just said, a Hall of Fame coach. And so it was fun those years fighting against them. It's so cool. You walk in the stadium, go through the fair. Their locker room is dead right across the hallway from our locker room. You're going up and down the tunnel, warming up and going out for game and getting loosened up. And then game time, you both come down the tunnel together. One's in front of the other. They have it laid out. I guess the home team comes in second, I think, or first. I don't remember. But it was neat. I mean, the intensity, I mean, you could cut it with a knife. I mean, it's really what you want. It's really special to be in it.
Well, we've really appreciated you doing on. I tell you what, to have you here again, I just wanted to tell you thank you for all that you've done for college football. Thank you for being on this show. And I wanted to have you on because I kind of favor Oklahoma this week. So thank you there, Coach Stoops, my friend. And,
I appreciate it, Gary.
Enjoy your weekend.
Good to be with you. And I could tell you getting that golf handicap down, you're going to have to give me some strokes when we get back out there.
Hey, I would. And let me just tell you, if you'll come down to play, I'd be more than happy to buy lunch and pay for it and let you win. It wouldn't matter. So we'll see you.
Don't give me that. I mean, win now. Come on.
I'm kidding. You know that. We'll see you.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Good to be with you.
And finally, the NCAA is easing up on its gambling rules. Division I schools voted to let athletes and finally, the NCAA is easing up on its gambling rules. What could go wrong? Division I schools voted to let athletes and athletic staff bet on professional sports starting November 1st, provided Divisions 2 and 3 follow suit later this month. Betting on college sports will be strictly off limits, as you can imagine. The change reflects the reality of legalized sports betting across the U.S., and the NCAA struggle to police it. Officials insist the move isn't an endorsement of gambling, just a shift toward education and realistic enforcement in an era where, for most athletes, placing a pro sports wager is only a few taps away. I'm sure they would love to get in on some of that money too. If you're catching this episode after hearing your favorite Locked On show, make sure to subscribe to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you're a new subscriber to Locked On Sports Today, we're here for you with the biggest stories in sports every day. Coming up, there is tons of good NFL and college football teams being put to the test this weekend. Which squads can avoid the upset and who is up to the test? So at least until tomorrow, stay locked on sports today.
Locked On Podcast Network presents Locked On Sports Today.
For more episodes of Locked On Sports Today, go to our video on demand. Click on sports at the top of your screen. There, you'll find past episodes of Locked On Sports Today, plus other Locked On shows on demand.